And now, here he is, Florida's go-to guru for cybersecurity risk mitigation and management.
Good morning and welcome, cybersecurity enthusiasts. My name is Earl, and I am your go-to source for all things cybersecurity today. And today we're going to dive into the murky waters of phishing. That's a cyber threat that's as deceptive as it is prevalent. So grab your cyber life jackets, folks, because we're about to navigate through some choppy digital seas. So let's start with the basics. So phishing is a form of cyber attack where criminals use deceptive tactics to trick individuals such as yourselves into revealing sensitive information. This might include passwords, credit card numbers, and personal details. Now, these attacks can come in various forms, and they include emails, text messages, phone calls, even social media messages, and we see it all the time. Right? So let's shine a light on some common phishing tactics that are used by cyber criminals. One popular method is something we like to call spear phishing. Now, this is where attackers target specific individuals or organizations with highly personalized messages. And you may have seen these. You may have received a message from your boss saying, maybe I want you to go out and purchase some gift cards, or I want you to get some cash together. These are called spear phishing messages. Now, they might use information they gathered from social media or other sources to make the emails appear more convincing. And I see this all the time. How do they know that Bob is my boss? Well, it's very simple to go onto LinkedIn, look at a company, look at the organization. Bob may be listed as CEO, you're listed as controller. So it's very easy to figure out who's who in an organization directly from social media. Now, another tactic is something called pretexting, where attackers create a fabricated scenario to trick victims into disclosing information. For example, they might pose as a bank representative and claim there's been suspicious activity on the victim's account, and they might provide you to prompt them with login information or credentials or other sensitive data. So, how do you spot a phishing attack in the wild? Well, there are several red flags to watch out for. Misspellings and grammatical errors in emails, especially from supposed reputable organizations, are often telltale signs of phishing. But as I've said many times, once the attackers learn how to spell and learn how to speak English, we're all in trouble. So that's not the only thing that you should look for. Additionally, legitimate companies will never ask you to provide sensitive information via email or text. So be wary of any requests asking for such details. Your bank's never going to call you and ask you for your login information. And your bank's never going to call you and ask you for a PIN number that you may have received, etc. Now, another clue is the use of generic greetings like "Dear Customer" instead of addressing you by name. Legitimate businesses usually have access to your personal account information, and they'll address it accordingly. And of course, always double check the sender's email address to ensure it matches the official domain of the organization they claim to request. Now, I will tell you that's one of the biggest things that you can do. When in doubt, hover over the email address, especially if you use Outlook, and it'll show you the email address that it came from. So if you're ever in doubt in your email, Outlook and Gmail do the same exact thing now, which is they will notate a sender is coming from externally. Somebody internally should never come external, even if it looks like it came from internal. So always check whether the message came internally or externally. So now that we've uncovered the tactics used by these cyber criminals, let's talk about how you can protect your business from falling victims to phishing attacks. First and foremost, education is key. Make sure that your employees are aware of the dangers of phishing and how to recognize suspicious email or messages. Did you know that last year, close to 80% of the cyber attacks were caused specifically from employees that did something they weren't supposed to in a phishing email? So, employee training is important. Also, it is important that employees understand that it's okay that they have messed up. A lot of times what we find is employees are reluctant to mention to management that they may have done something that they shouldn't have. And therefore, they're worried they might get in trouble. And therefore, they won't report that. So, management needs to have an open forum where employees can come and say, this might be something that I did. This might be something that we need to correct. So, let's make sure that in our education program, we're also including, listen, we understand you're only human, you can mess up. So, let's fix that and not get into a who did what, finger pointing kind of thing. Implementing robust cybersecurity measures such as email filtering and multi-factor authentication can also help prevent phishing attacks from succeeding. All of our clients at EK3 Technologies used the Barracuda platform. We have some people that are using additional platforms on top of that, but adding layers of security to your systems makes it harder for attackers to gain unauthorized access to sensitive information. So first and foremost, we want to train our employees on spotting that. But what if we could prevent those from getting to the employee's box altogether? Now, we're never going to prevent 100% of phishing emails from not getting through, but if we can significantly reduce those, we will, and that's something important to do. And don't forget about, again, regular security training and awareness programs for your employees. Teach them to be cautious and vigilant when it comes to sharing sensitive information. Your employees are always your first line of defense against cyber threats. So invest in their cybersecurity knowledge. Again, 80% of all attacks in 2023 were caused by directly from employee actions. So let's think about that, and let's think about making sure that we have a robust cybersecurity training program for our employees. We have one here. If you're interested, we are more than happy to talk with you about it. So that's a wrap for today's episode of EK3 Live. Phishing may be a formidable adversary, but armed with knowledge and vigilance, you can protect yourself and your business from falling prey to these deceptive tactics. Now, stay safe out there, and until next time, keep those cyber defenses strong and be cyber secure. Have a great week.